In this video, in this video, I'm going to show you how to embed iframes into a Divi website. Some of these rules can be applied to any website in general, but for the sake of this course, this is Divi related. Um, so, an iframe is basically, basically you're cutting out. Imagine cutting out a piece of a magazine and pasting it into another scrapbook or something. That's what an iframe is in a technical sense. You're just cropping out a certain section of one website and embedding it into the other. So the iframe is embedded into the other site. So for this example, let's say I want to put a YouTube video right here. I would embed content from youtube.com's website. And other examples are SoundCloud and Vimeo, anything where you're embedding media or images. There's typically an interface that company will provide to you to help you embed and create a custom embed code. There's some configurable options based off of what type of media it is. So for the sake of YouTube here, let's say I want to do this little animation that I had come up with for my company. I'm going to go to Share and Embed. So just look for shares, embed. This is a pretty universal symbol right here for sharing. Sometimes embed will be separate depending on the platform. So we got here, we click embed, and here's this iframe code that you'll see. Now these are the configurable options I was mentioning. So you could, if you wanted to start at a certain time, you could change that. You could show the player controls and other options there as well. Now when you change these, you'll notice this code up here changes. So it's just it's modifying the code that you'll be putting into your site. So I want the full thing. I don't want to show the player controls. I'm going to take this code and I'm going to copy it, which is Control-C, short keyboard shortcut, and I'm going to go to my Divi site. Okay, so if you're already familiar with how the visual builder works, and no explanation needed here, but this is the front-end builder for Divi, and it's really nice because you could edit these texts here directly without having to go to the back end to do this. This is a new feature on Divi as of December 2018. Well, it's improved right around now. They just released it along with WordPress 5.0. So now we're going to want to add a section here. So let's say we're going to add a regular section, which there's other resources on how these sections all work. So you say you got a text section here, and you go to add it. Now you want to make sure you're on there's two tabs here. There's visual and text. So you can look at how this works. So if you look at visual right now, you see it just looks like you're writing an email or posting something on Facebook. It's plain text, or there's no code in here. You don't need to do code. This is called the WYSIWYG editor, which is an acronym. What you see is what you get. And it's basically a way for people to write code. You've all been doing it, whether you are aware of it or not. When you do this, you're actually writing HTML code if you bold the text, or you use bullet points, item 1, item 2. If you do this and then you're using these tools here in this little word text editor, what it's doing on the back end, it's generating HTML code for you, which you could see by toggling between these two tabs. So now you could see what it's actually doing here. So if you ever wondered what that was, this is what's going on here. So you got your, these are tags for HTML structures of list, and strong means bold. So, most cases, most people, you want to just work directly in this text editor here. But, there's going to be occasions, this embedding, for example, where you want to have direct access to the text. So you want to toggle between these two. And this is where you're going to want to put your iframe. So I'm going to paste it, which is Control-V. I'm going to take out all this other junk I was doing. And you'll see it already popping up here. Now, you go back to visual, and it won't show in this text. Oh, it will show in this text editor. because that's what is happening on the front end after the HTML is rendered. So I'm going to save that, and I'm going to show you what not to do here. So let's say we added another text, and let's see, text, and let's say we added the iframe code while you were in this visual tab here. Notice I'm not on the text, I'm on the visual. What's going to happen is the mechanisms in the backend, they're going to try to interpret this as plain text, and they're going to try to convert it to HTML even though it's already HTML. So what's going to happen is it's going to take those special characters, it's going to pretty much just mess it up, and it's not going to work, and it's going to show plain text. As you can see, it's kind of got the code showing, so it doesn't work as expected. So you really got to make sure. I'm going to delete that. So when you're embedding code, any HTML code of any sort, you want to make sure you're in this text mode here. Okay. Yeah, the take home for this, I've just pulled up a new one here. The take home here is, just always keep these two tabs in mind. On any text editor, you might see these in varying forms. It might say text, or it might have a little symbols like this, the source code, or it'll say source, and you can toggle between the two. So anytime you need to do some embedding, that's how you're going to do it. Another little tip here while we're on topic is there's also a module in Divi called code, which is very similar to text, except there is no text editor. It's strictly for embedding code. So you could see this has this interface looks more similar to some popular code editors with the dark background and the color-coded parameters. So if you're just doing an embed, maybe this makes more sense to use the code module. If you have a mix of text and code where you have plain text and an iframe, then you're going to want to use the text code that I had showed you originally. All right, so I hope this helps, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.